Hey guys, good morning. It's Tony. As always, before I start the video, remember to like, subscribe, and comment. Also for everybody, what is it called? So I haven't posted my Patreon recently. Not from like my last few videos because I just honestly I just make these videos and I just post them on YouTube and I just go on with my day. For right now, I will try to post the Patreon link because I have had people ask me, or the people in the comments have asked, what the link is. So I'll try to remember to drop the link in the comments and in the description. But I think I have, for the most part, I think I'm like my last. If you go back like maybe 10 videos, I probably have the link in my Patreon there somewhere. But with that being said, let's get started on some daily SPX. We'll look at the SPY, we'll look at the NASDAQ. I don't really need to look at the NASDAQ, and then we'll look at the dollar, right? As of right now, you did break this, whatever pattern this is on whatever like candle pattern this is, or whatever this is called. I don't know what it's called, but you did break to the upside and you're starting to create really full bullish candles to the upside. And again, in an hour and 13 minutes, you are going to be closing another bullish trigger on the bull side. So I do like that we're actually breaking this, and you're probably headed back to the range of I think 387 today. So if I had to pick a range, I am looking for 385 to like 387 or so. And on the SPY, that'd probably be like 384, 386 or something. So I think that's what the range is right now. But I do think as of right now, 390 is in the works. You're still, again, for the most part, you're still kind of trading sideways in this range, right? It's really just been sideways ever since here. You've really just been trading here, like in this range right there. So we'll drop that in there for you guys. But you did break this pattern. I don't even know what that's called. I don't really care. It just you broke to the upside. And I think you are headed back to like 389, 390-ish. But like I said, I do think as of right now, we are headed more towards the upside than the downside. On the dollar, you're about to close an 8-hour bear trigger here in about 3 hours. So if this closes, historically, what's happened when you close a perfect entry on the 8-hour? It's very easy. If you guys want my indicators, again, you join the Patreon. So this I would consider a perfect entry on the 8-hour. Perfect. Whoops. This has to be a little bit more to the left. Right there. Perfect entry on the 8-hour. And then also a perfect entry on the 8-hour, right? So we run these positions, or we run this forecast, right? You're essentially dropping from a close of, let's go with the high. High is like around here. High, you drop all the way down in this cycle. You drop about almost $2, right? From here, you drop from highs to lows of like $1 something, and then again here, a very simple forecast from here. You drop from like, I think, where's the wick? I think the wick's like here somewhere, here down to here. So every single time you seem to be dropping about $1 from the highs, or from that actual high of the close. So again, right here or right there. Again, if we do close this 8-hour in about 3 hours and 11 minutes, which I think we can, right? But again, that's not going to happen for 3 hours. So here, and then we'll probably see the drop of $1 like around there. So if you do drop here, you're more than likely breaking all these lows that you have on the dollar currently. And I think and if you do actually start breaking these lows, I 100% think we're going to keep dropping to 101.3. And if that happens, I expect a pretty massive rally on the SPX. But even right now, I'm extremely bullish on the SPY right now, right? You are seeing all the weak movement. God, I hate waking up early because then I have all this. I always get like super coffee and stuff. I don't even know if that's a word. Anyways, on like the earlier, you're still trading sideways, and you haven't broken support of 381, right? I mean, you have traded under, but on the weekly, you're just wicking down, and you're consistently making lower highs every single week, right? So the low here was 376, 378, 379. So you're consistently making lower highs here, and that's 3 wicks on the low side, right? Usually when you have wicks like that, it's a pretty good sign, an indication that you're not going to break anything. So again, right? Same thing here. You started wicking down, and then you started pushing up extremely hard. right? And usually every situation when you have these long wicks to the downside like this, boom, you start pushing up, right? Again, same thing. You're on support, wicking down, wicking down, wicking down, long with like these long tails, and then you push up super hard. And again, that's what's happening right now. You're starting to see these long tails here, wick down. You're starting to see a little bit of strength here, but I think next week would actually push us super hard, especially because I think next week is CPI. If CPI next week comes out lower, or at least in that same range, I think if CPI comes out flat or lower, I 100% think that we can run that next week to like the highest, like 420, like 427 probably, right? Still looking for like that 416, 420 range. I still think that's going to happen. I'm getting pretty bullish right now. If CPI does come in higher, I think we're kind of fucked, right? Because I think that's really the only momentum that you can really have on this, and you would have some extreme, like really high push on CPI if it comes in at like flat or like lower, right? That's what I personally think. But if it does come in higher, like a lot higher, you're fucked. You can possibly drop all the way down to like 350 really, really, really fast. But as of right now, still bullish. Still think that we're gonna keep running towards the upside. You broke this trend here pretty nicely. You're starting to create these wicks, and then I still think you're gonna run up pretty hard. That being said, I did have a request for Google just to kind of see where you're headed right now. I'll stick to the daily, just because for right now I do think that since I am like bullish, I do think that for right now everything looks like it's gonna keep running to the upside. And again, basic market structure, you're holding support. This is, I don't really need to do too much. You already closed that gap right there. But I think for the most part, I don't need to do too much TA. I think new trend started here, right? And I think you're at lows right now, right? So I think you're at lows. I think the next part here, I think your next target, or really when you're at these like lows, right? It's very easy. I usually just run a forecast like this, like a fib trend. There's nothing around this level. I think. Let me see. You have some nice support there. This not too much. This not too much. Yeah. So I think next level for Google is probably 107. I think you're probably headed to 107, and that's actually pretty solid move, because from right here, that's a what 20% gain. I think you're headed to the upside. Especially you might actually be able to consider this. If this was a little bit, this wick, this long tail was a little bit lower down here, I'd consider this a double bottom, right? It's not that low. But, you are still holding support. So I would definitely think that you're going to keep pushing towards the upside. So my next target would be, like I said, somewhere in the range of like, possibly like 101.50, 102 towards 107. I think that range there is what I'm starting to look for on Google. And here is like essentially your perfect entries on Google. These are all going to be your major points of, on the weekly, major points of support, resistance. This can actually go a little bit like, actually that's good. Should probably change these up a little bit. These are all monthly zones, right? So that's good right there. And this is a little bit higher. That's good right there. Yeah, that's fine. For the most part, these are gonna be your entry points. You guys can take a screenshot of this, and you're also more than likely in January, if we close this bullish, we close this month bullish, you basically have a really good sign of continuation, right? And my Patreon members know why this is a good continuation. So I would be comfortable if this closes, if this red dot right here closes, right, on January 31st, then I would be comfortable saying that this is your general bottom on Google. And this looks like maybe like a 0.3, 0.5 retracement on the fibs, right? So let's go with, let me see. This is wow, it's actually a 0.6 retracement. I did not expect that. So you're basically at a perfect entry on the fib, right? Look at that. That's perfect. I would 100% start DCAing into Google, or I would drop. I'm probably gonna buy a shit ton of Google right now, because that's a golden level, right? I would, and especially if we close. So I'm gonna wait till we actually close this red bubble on the monthly. So January 31st, I'll come back to Google. But this is a perfect level of DCA right here at $88, especially when you're like what's like the relative high is like 150. You're looking at close to 100% gain on Google right now. If you buy in right now, I think as of right now, you're looking at a strong recovery on Google. I also got a request on ADA. I can do that right now. ADA. So ADA, again, you are like on a pretty good range. I think I could probably use a better chart right there. ADA does love, it does look like it wants to keep pushing, man. So, I actually did this for a buddy of mine on the Patreon. His name's Outrageous. And I know he's shorting this right now. This actually, yeah, I guess I would wait a little bit. Yeah, I guess this kind of makes sense. 16-hour. Yeah, I guess I would wait. I guess I would just kind of like cross my fingers and see what happens. But this looks like you're on like a nice range. What was the high here? 271. High 271. So you haven't broken the 271 level yet. So I think part of me is just if you actually break that 271 high from back here, right? I start to worry, right? I would start to worry a lot. As of right now, because the 8-hour or the 16-hour and the 8-hour are going to close, I would definitely be comfortable starting my martingale shorts here. I think this will probably push back to the low side. You have some pretty nice supports right like around this level. Is that good? Let's be more comfortable up here, actually. Yeah, I'd say like that. I'd be more comfortable around that level. I'm going to take that away just because let me see. There you go. Like this whole thing, right? That's like my whole, that would probably be your whole like level there, honestly. Like I should probably made that bigger. But yeah, I think this whole range here, you're probably going to come here and drop all the way back down to here, possibly do something like this, right? Maybe not break those lows. So maybe do something like this and then start pushing up again like that. Maybe you can do something like that. But I think there's a really good chance that you actually just don't break these lows at all, right? So you do something like that. Let me see what that retracement is. Should be at least a 0.5, 0.6. And it is yeah, it's solid actually. That's actually a 0.6 retracement. So this, we can actually move a little bit, maybe like that. There you go. So that I'd probably be more comfortable with that. So I'd say that, and then you do something like, I don't know, something like that. So maybe around like, January 10th, maybe January 10th, sometime mid-January, you can probably come all the way back down here, create a new like lower high, and then push to the upside. So that makes more sense. I'd probably say something like that probably happens. I don't think you actually come all the way down here, especially if stocks rally super hard. I don't think crypto is going to rally as hard as stocks. If anything, I'm actually pretty bearish on crypto, to be honest. Unless you have, the SPY run to like 420, 430, then you can actually see Bitcoin and everything else rally extremely hard to the upside, right? You can actually see these things run super hard. But because I don't think crypto and stocks are actually that correlated anymore, it's just unlikely to see a bunch of stuff happen where you don't have price being like correlated like it used to be with like the Nasdaq or stocks, because it's really not, right? I mean, you have Bitcoin essentially trading sideways since I don't know, like that, I don't know when, but these charts don't look very that similar to each other anymore, right? Like Bitcoin, I guess they kind of do. I guess they kind of look similar still, but you have to have a pretty massive move on like SPX or the Nasdaq to really do something, right? So even the SPY, like, right, you don't have, like, it looks completely different, right? Bitcoin is just trading sideways. SPY just pushed up, came back down, and is likely gonna push up again here. At least that's what I think, right? With Bitcoin, again, it's you pushed up, but not as hard as the SPY did or the Nasdaq did, and you're just you're essentially just trading sideways. You're really just trading in this range from 17.1 down to like 15.6 or something. But again, with such weak crypto movement, I do think you're going to keep trading sideways. And I don't even if SPY goes up super hard, I think maybe Bitcoin goes up to like 18.6, somewhere around this range at most, right? I don't think there's a melt up coming at all, right? So yeah, with that being said, I mean, dollar is, let me see, the dollar looking weak right now. Weak AF. No, dollar is looking strong right now, actually. So I might actually end up closing my longs on SPX. I think I'm up like 30K today. So I'll probably close my longs. I actually did close it. Yeah, I'll probably end up closing my my longs on SPX right now. Still bullish on the SPY. I think today, just with the dollar, you might actually drop on the SPX, you know, or SPY, just because it's kind of strong right now. You know, at these levels, if the 4 hour stays strong and consistent, if this breaks, right, you can go to 105, and I think, you know, maybe SPY trade sideways or maybe a little bit down. But as of right now, I'm going to be safe, close my longs on the SPX, because if the dollar is strong, I don't really do anything while the dollar is actually running up hard. If anything, I'll probably maybe just open some martingale shorts. But again, with that being said, you know, SPY still strong, which is surprising, right? The fact that SPY is still strong and the dollar's running as well. So we'll see what happens. And then there's like some important news today. I don't really care about it. I'm not going to be in any positions, but I still think overall, I still think the SPY it looks like it's headed to like 400 plus, man. I still think that's what's going to happen. I'm not changing my mind yet. So I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.